Hey, this is Bree with Cosmic Siren. Welcome to the Siren Pod. If you've struggled with feeling unseen, unheard, and relationships have been a challenge, welcome home. I share empowering channeled messages and guidance from spirit, stories, and music to help quirky and curious souls trust their intuition, express their truth, and embody their beautifully unique selves. In today's episode, I was connecting with the collective and I was feeling this kind of stagnant energy. It's like this energy of feeling in between something. Something has shifted, something has changed, and it's feeling like this space of being in limbo. It's not a heavy burden feeling, right? But it's also not a high vibrational feeling. It's like this limbo stuckness. And there's almost this sense of kind of calm and peace. It's like settling into the shift, settling into the change. It's as if something was let go of. It could have been a person, a situation, but it feels like there's this message of something being realized, something shifting, and now there's this limbo state of taking it all in, accepting the change, and then getting ready for something else to happen. So I'm going to pull some cards for messages about what this is. We have last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. We have the calling. We have bear, and this came up a little bit ago, the bear. We have I embrace change. I am supported. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this. So with the embrace change, with the number 20, it's this person on the card. It looks like they have a lot of scales on their back, kind of like, when a snake sheds its skin. It's this idea of transformation, change, letting go of something that doesn't serve you anymore, which is what I was saying. So this, maybe even if you're not consciously aware of it, it could be a person, it could be a situation, a place, thing, but it's this idea of being more intuitive, feeling through and accepting things that no longer serve you and letting it go. Shedding away old skin. It could also be like a role, how you view yourself. It's just letting go of these old notions that maybe had fit in your life at one time and they served a purpose. But as you're growing, as you're changing, you're embracing it and accepting it. And instead of trying to hold yourself in, instead of trying to hold yourself back and keep yourself as you are, just because it's been that way, instead of doing that, you're instead being more open to intuitively just following what feels good, what feels right, and letting go the old. And this works well with the last quarter moon in Aries. It's work through your feelings. With Aries, the energy of Aries, the archetype of Aries, it's this person that boldly stands into who they are. They're not afraid to express their truth. They're not afraid to embody their genuine self. And they boldly just keep going. They're not trying to fit themselves in a box. They're not trying to mold themselves and stay stagnant, right? There are feelings, which is what I was saying before. There might be a situation, a person, or just internally how you're feeling. But there are certain feelings that right now there's this message of, this is an important time to be honest with yourself. What in your life is not supporting you anymore? Maybe you were very hopeful about a person, a job, a situation, anything, whatever resonates with you. And it's turning out a lot differently than you had expected or that you had hoped. And that's okay, right? We set intentions at the beginning of, hey, I enjoy this. I'm open to exploring this, whatever this may be. And as time goes on, as you come into the reality of the situation, as you meet the person, the thing, the situation where it is, it might be different than what you were open to or what you were hoping for. And that's okay, right? And then pivoting through that, be honest and work through your feelings. Really connect with your body, connect with your thoughts and emotions, and really sit with yourself and say, how do I feel about this? There's this message of, If you've been spending a lot of time not in your energy, if you've been spending a lot of time with others or just outside and, you're absorbing all these energies and thoughts and emotions from other people, you can get kind of confused or not really in tune with how you're actually feeling deep down. So there is this message of, connect back with yourself, be in your own energy, and really sit with yourself and observe, right? Be a conscious observer. You don't have to judge. You don't have to try to direct your thoughts or feelings. Just really connect with yourself and say, hey, how do I feel about this person, this situation, this thing? And listen to your body. Work through those feelings and accept your feelings, right? Don't dismiss your feelings. Accept that, hey, these are my true feelings about the situation, and don't feel ashamed or guilty about those, because that's your truth, right? And from those feelings, then you can pivot and then you can decide and say, okay, these are my feelings. This is how I feel. What am I going to do about it? Do I want to keep feeling this way? Is there a different path that I can take that will point me more toward my yes, right? Because you want to keep pivoting toward your yes and not stay in feelings of no. And there's this message of with the calling, it's this in the picture, it's, there's a chalice, a cup. It makes me think of the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, it's like this huge support for self-love, but also like spiritual connection and love. It's like connecting with your spirit guides. And in this card, there is the Egyptian reference. So for some of you that may have a connection with Egypt, or maybe like Isis, there is a connection there. But also this person is connecting with like generations of ancestors for support and guidance from her spirit guides, right? From her ancestors. And dolphins. Dolphins may be a spirit animal for some of you, but it is this idea of connecting with something outside of yourself, right? With the I am supported, this person has angel wings. And so it's connecting with your guides, your support. If you work with archangels, if you work with your ancestors, but connecting just with the universe in general, like really believing and feeling that, hey, I am supported through this. You can ask the universe for help, for guidance. You can sit in meditation and ask a question and say, hey, I need some messages. I want some answers. Can you point me in the right direction? And just really ask out loud or in your head and just wait and sit with the answer. It might not come right away. It might come in a day, a couple of days, but put the intention out there that you want support, that you want a sign, that you want some help, and it will come to you, right? With the bear being in the middle of the spread, it is again this idea of protection. And in this card, it gives me more energy of a guardian bear, a mother bear that's protecting their environment, their family, their young. And a bear is very in tune and connected with their environment. They know if a different energy or if a person or something is invading their space. And it's this idea again of connecting back into your body and your space and really getting comfortable in your own energy. Because when you're really comfortable in your own energy and being alone, you will be able to confidently tell when you're with other people, when you're in a new environment situation, and it's affecting you and it's draining you. You can feel it right away and you'll know, you won't doubt yourself. You'll know and confirm that, hey, this person, this situation, this thing is draining me on my energy. And that's something for you to be aware of. It's something for you to look at. And it's okay to let that go, right? It's this message of being aware of what in your environment is serving you and what is not, and what you need to let go of. And being very protective of that environment. It's really important. Your energy is very important. It's like this message of you don't have to keep draining your energy or making yourself feel uncomfortable just to support someone else, right? Just because someone else is relying on you, just because the job or situation demands some level of yourself to sacrifice yourself, that's not how it should go, right? Be very protective of your energy and your environment because it's very important. And you can be selective. You can be intentional with who, what, and where, isn't in your environment. You deserve to protect that sacred space for yourself. Let's pull cards about what this shift is, what this shift looks like, what's going on in your life that kind of prompted this shift, this kind of intermediary. Oh, okay. So we have 3 of Swords, Page of Cups, Six of Cups, Page of Swords reverse, and Eight of Swords. Okay, a lot of swords energy. Let's start with the Three of Swords, along with the Page of Cups and Six of Cups. So for some of you, again, as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is a collective reading. So always take the messages that resonate with you. If it doesn't, this is not for you, the message. For some of you, there was this hopefulness, there was this spark, there was this soul connection between someone that came into your life with the Page of Cups energy. It's this person that came into your life and it felt like you guys were destined to meet. There's this red string of fate and a rabbit, and it feels like, you weren't in charge of the timing, it just happened. But there is this new person, this new energy, and it is this playful energy. When they came into your life, there was this connection with them where it felt like you guys could connect, you guys could have fun. They were in touch with their emotions, with their creativity, inspiration, and it's just very alluring connection, especially because it is connected with the Six of Cups. It feels like they were very familiar with you. It felt like you were at home with them. This could be a person that you had known for a long time for some of you in your past, a childhood connection, but for some of you, it just feels that way, that you've known them for a long time. It's definitely giving soulmate or twin flame energy vibes. It doesn't have to be, but it is a strong soul connection. And the reason why it feels stagnant right now, your energy, the reason why there's something shifting, the reason why it's this embracing change, letting go, is there's some heartbreak in this situation. For some of you, it's not going as planned. This connection is so strong, but it is not turning out as you wanted. And I think that I said that earlier with some situations. So for some of you, it's the situation of it's not turning out as you wanted. You felt hopeful, you felt connected, and you really wanted it to go a different way, but it's not. And as I said before we got to these messages, it's this idea of accepting the reality of the situation, of that it's not as you wanted, it's not going that way. And that hurts. It kind of puts you, in this Three of Swords imagery with this card I have. There's this, I don't know what she's supposed to be. She's kind of like a geisha, but she has wings. And there are these swords that have pierced her in her chest. And it's halted her. It's made her at a standstill. It hurts, but she's still going to go. She's still going to keep going. She has one of the swords and she's going to get rid of them. She'll pull out the swords and she'll be okay. She'll heal. But it is halting her. It's making her stop. It's making her question, is this really healthy for me? Is this the best place for me? And that's where you're at for some of you. It's this idea of, this connection was so strong and powerful, and you can't help but think, yeah, but it has to go somewhere. It's rare if I connect with someone like this connection's so strong, it has to go somewhere. Like, how could it not? What was this meant to do? And it feels halted right now. You feel stagnant because it's not going somewhere, but you're beginning to realize, but it's not serving me, and I have to let go of the outcome. And that's why I feel like some of you are in this transition state, because you're realizing, hey, it's okay. Yes, I met this person. It felt like we were destined to meet. I met this connection, but it's this idea of the calling. I said self-love. There could be many reasons why this person came into your life, right? It could be because it was supposed to prompt you to love yourself more, right? As this connection's not going out the way you wanted, I have a feeling it's because of, for whatever reason, the other person is not meeting you where you are. And it's pushing you. It's teaching you how to love yourself more, right? It's teaching you to reflect and turn inward and get very clear on what type of energy do you want in your life? How do you want other people to treat you? How do you want to feel loved? And because this person in connection is not meeting you there, it's forcing you to get very clear on what does love look like for you. And this could be anything, right? It doesn't have to be romantic or platonic. This is any dynamic. familial, whatever. But it's not meeting you with where you are. So it's forcing you to answer the question, how do you want to feel loved? How is it best to love you? And are the people in your life meeting you with that? And if not, then let them go. It's like pouring into your cup, pouring into self-love. So for some of you, I feel like that's a strong message. With the Page of Swords in reverse, I'm getting the feeling that for the Six of Cups is directly in between the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords reverse. And so some of you may resonate with the Page of Cup energy yourself, or it could be the person that you're thinking about. With the Page of Swords reversed, I feel like, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I feel like this is mirroring the two energies that you and the other person are representing and feeling. With the Page of Cups, which I was saying before, it's this open energy, feeling connected, feeling bonded, feeling the soul connection, being like emotionally available and open, but feeling very stagnant and trapped because of the connection. It's not meeting where you're at. So some of you will resonate with that energy, and it could be the other person. With this other energy, it's the Page of Swords reverse and the Eight of Swords. So with the Page of Swords reverse, it's this person that maybe at the beginning, they were more open or more clear with where they wanted to go, their intentions. Maybe they had action, right? They took action. Maybe they're more communicative. But as they are now, this energy, the intentions are very unclear. They're not communicating very openly. They're a little bit distant. It could be like their energy is a little unsure. Like maybe sometimes they're very clear and open and take direct action, but sometimes it feels like they're holding back, that you're not really sure what the intentions are anymore, that maybe they've changed their mind. It is that type of energy. And both of these are pages. So it is this, I feel, new connection. It does feel like a youthful, new connection. I don't feel like it's a long-term connection, but it can be. That's why I feel like it was a more recent connection, whatever that means for you. Because I feel like it is in the earlier stages of the relationship. I don't get the sense that this has been going on for years. But again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. For a lot of you, I feel like this will be a newer connection, which is why you're struggling, because you're trying to establish something, to build something, but the energies are kind of unclear. And this Page of Swords person energy, coupled with the Eight of Swords, this person is in their head. With the Eight of Swords, there's all these swords surrounding someone and they're feeling very trapped, right? But these are all their limiting beliefs. These are all their fears. They could easily just move around these swords and get out, but they're feeling very trapped by their current circumstances, situation, and so they can't see the way out. So that's why I feel like this Page of Swords person, whether that's you or the other person, if they're very like hot and cold, or the energy is very inconsistent, or it feels like they're not really sure what they want, it's because they're having their own limiting fears and beliefs stopping them from moving forward, stopping them from the connection. And that could be for a lot of reasons. Let's look into why this Swords energy, because I feel like with the Page of Cups person, whether that's you or the other person, you are a more open energy. You're actually looking to build something and you're more receptive. But the Page of Swords person is not very, because they're not very clear on what they want. Let's look into, for the Page of Swords person, this energy. What's stopping them? What are their limiting beliefs? Why are they holding back? We have the Two of Coins, the Nine of Coins, and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay. So for the Page of Swords energy, whether that's you or the other person, it does seem like this person, this energy, right now, they're really focused on balancing their energy and their time in order to make themselves feel better, feel good, feel at an elevated state. And it seems that the timing is off with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Obviously, not obviously, but things happen for a reason, right? I don't believe anyone meets people at the wrong time. There's a reason why you guys met, you and this other person. I feel like because of the connection, because you guys met, it is making both of you reflect more about yourselves, to love yourselves more so that you can get ready and be more open to the connection. I think right now, as the Page of Swords is right now, they're not in the space or place to open you with unconditional love. They're not able to meet you where you are. And I am reading it like you are the Page of Cups, so you can turn it around if you'd like. But I feel like for you, I think you're in a more open space and you are able to hold that type of space for them. I don't think they are right now. They they may be able to, but they are in their head. So whatever that situation is for them, maybe they got out of a relationship recently, maybe they just have a lot going on with different areas of their life and they're just not happy or satisfied with it. And so they want to work on it. But there's this energy here with the Two of Coins and Nine of Coins. They're trying to balance their time and energy, figure out their lives so that they're able to nourish and build their inner garden and their outer environment so that they feel more supported, so that they feel more happy. Because this person wants to connect with you with the type of energy where they're able to give you consistency, they're able to support you. And they can't do that if they haven't nourished their inner garden yet, right? The Nine of Coins, it's this feeling of being very abundant, very happy, very nourished with your own effort, right? You've taken the time to build up this space to make you feel very happy and supported. And so this person, that's what they're doing. And so if it feels like this person is being very inconsistent toward you, or if you are this person, it's just this idea of wanting to be in a better space for yourself, which is very respectable, respectful, whatever the word is. That's a very, I respect that. That's very important. While yes, they could communicate this better to you. Like, yes, they could say like, hey, I really connect with you. I'm just going through some things. I need some space to be on my own. Like that would have been a better situation. But as I said, this person is not in that type of space to be able to even communicate those feelings toward you. So I feel like this person tried to connect with you. The connection made them realize things about themselves. And so they're trying to figure themselves out, but they also don't want to burden you with that. And so they're kind of on their own figuring this out. And as I said, with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it just feels like for them that the timing is just off. It's almost as if, I feel like it's almost as if they're saying, wow, why did I meet you right now? I wish I met you a little bit later when I was in a different space. That's what I feel like is happening. And so the connection is mutual. If this resonates for you, the connection is mutual. There's no way that you feel one way and they don't feel the other thing. I feel like you guys both feel the same way. You feel the same connection of like, this was destined to meet, that this is like a respected and equal partnership, that you feel so vulnerable and open and loving whenever you guys are together. It's just the sense of home when you're together. That connection is there. It's just for this Page of Swords energy person. They're working on themselves. They're trying to balance their life. They're trying to nourish and love themselves so that they're in a better space, so that they can get out of their head, so that they can show up better for themselves and for others. But they do feel this sense of destiny with you. Whatever the dynamic is, right? Whatever that may mean. And let's look I'm going to pull some cards for this shift, for this stagnant energy, this limbo that you're experiencing. I want to pull some cards to see what you're meant to step into, what you're meant to kind of master. All right, we have Harvest. Lovely things have been growing in your garden. Let's gather the goods and celebrate. Flow. Lose yourself in a moment, an experience, or activity. And Sculpt. Sometimes you need to take the abstract and give it a body. How can you take a feeling or idea and hold it in your hands? Yes, I think those are beautiful cards and representations of what we have talked about. For flow, you're getting into this state of, remember I said in the beginning, you may have tried to control, right? You may have tried to control the outcome of situations or things or people, but now you're in this state of embracing change. You're kind of intuitively letting go naturally energies that don't serve you, realizing it in the moment and not holding on and just saying like, this isn't for me. This isn't the energy I want. And just pivoting, right? This isn't about drastic change. It's like these slow, intuitive movements toward your yes, slowly, right? And when you're in flow, what you're mastering is being able to be present every day in the moment. It doesn't matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter what your life looks like. When you wake up in the morning, there's a sense of flow to your day. Like, yes, maybe you have some routines that you like to do. Like maybe you like to stretch in the morning, brush your teeth, drink some tea, or, whatever it is, watch TV, whatever your morning routines are. But in flow, when you wake up, you can intuitively not have to think about things, right? There's just a flow to the routine. You're just following what your body, what your heart wants you to do in that moment without having to think about it. And you're not second guessing it, right? Because it just feels good. It feels natural. You're living with flow. You're not trying to move, change, or resist anything. You're just going with the flow of your intuition. And with this card, in life in general, and because we're talking about relationships in this setting for you, for flow, it's this idea of when you connect with people as you're building relationships, you're moving to the ebb and flow. It's like a wave. When you connect with people, you don't have to define or label what it is, right? You are open to the connection, you enjoy their company, you enjoy their space. And so you explore that and you build that without having a certain expectation of where it's going to end up. But when you live like that, when you live in that flow of each connection, of just following and building and exploring, it can lead you to amazing places. It can help you build amazing, intimate relationships, right? And that's not saying you can't label things. Of course, for society, mostly right now, a lot of people need labels. So I need to know if you're a friend. I need to know if we're doing something romantic. That's fair. But when you're getting to know new people, I feel like it's better to keep it open. When you keep it open like that and you don't, I don't want to say lock yourself down, but you can be clear on your intention. Like, for example, if you're in the dating scene and you're really looking to date, you want a romantic partner. Of course, that's fair. That's valid. And you can be open with the people you're meeting. Hey, I'm looking for a romantic partner. These are my intentions for the people I connect with. And that's okay. Maybe you already have an established friendship. And so you're only looking for a romantic partner. That's valid. What I'm saying is be open to connecting maybe with multiple people and say, hey, I'm open to a romantic partnership. I'm looking to explore those things. And when you're connecting with people and building, that friendship at the beginning, I don't want to tell you to date multiple people, you know, E&M poly, those are different topics. But what I'm just saying is to not restrict yourself, right? Because there's so many people in the world. You might have to get to know several people, have those conversations, go on a date or two, ask those important, hard questions to really understand their values and to really see if you connect with them, right? Or if you're not into that, that's okay. You can see one person at a time. There's nothing wrong with that. But also, if you're going to do that and see one person at a time, to not get so attached to the outcome. Maybe you connect with them, you give it a little bit, but remember, be very clear on the energy you're looking for, what values you want the person to have, the lifestyle, what you connect with, because once you're really clear and firm on that, if you're getting to know someone and it's been a couple weeks or a month and it's not that, you're not going to force yourself and to stay into it because you invested time and energy, right? It's not meant for you. Flow toward what feels good for you. You can connect with them, you can give it a try. And if you really feel like it's not going in the direction you want or if something feels off, you can trust that, give into that, and pivot. Okay, I went on a little bit of a tangent there. So that was a message for some of you who are, openly and actively looking for that type of connection. Because I feel like we can get caught on one person. And because we're only with one person and we really want it to work, we start to compromise and then we start to sacrifice what we want in a partnership, right? And so it's very important to get very clear on how you want to feel in a partnership, whatever that looks like for you, the type of values and lifestyle that you want to live, so that when you meet people that are against that, when you meet people that has a different lifestyle, different values, and it constantly pushes back toward yours and it forces you to have to make a change for yourself when you don't want to, that's something for you to look at and say, this isn't for me. I respect you with where you're at. We're just not aligned, right? You don't have to force yourself. It's just not aligned because there are other people that align with where you want to go and how you want to live. Okay. And harvest. It's a gentle reminder and just an empowering reminder to, as you're in this state of limbo, as you're in this state of letting go of energies that don't serve you, to not get too caught up or think too hard on what isn't working. It can feel strange, right? If we're letting go of a lot of things and we're in this transitionary phase, it can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm losing these connections. I'm letting go of these people, these situations, this career. It feels like a lot of loss. And that's valid, right? That's important to connect with yourself and acknowledge those feelings and work through those feelings. Also, though, what have you learned about yourself? What has letting go of these connections done for yourself? What did it make you learn for how you want to move forward? Or in the connections, because there's always something we can learn, always something that we can take from our connections, right? Or situations or work or whatever. But in these circumstances, what did we learn about ourselves? What did we learn to love about ourselves? What about the connection made us explore a part of ourselves that we didn't explore before and that we're loving right now? It's these things of harvest of you've been building your life so far. You've been changing and growing, and you've been wanting to build something so that you feel very elevated every day. You feel very supported and loved. And there's a lot of things that you have done. And it's just a sense of gratitude of take note of what you've done for yourself. Take back those things. There might be other connections that you haven't been focusing as much, but that make you feel so supported. And it's like, acknowledge that and invest your time and energy in that. Or what have you done to show yourself love? What routines have you placed for yourself to get you to this point where you can actually connect with your body and emotions and say, I want to pivot? Because that in itself is amazing, right? Not everyone is connected with themselves like that. Not everyone slows down to really reflect and think and make changes for their lives. And you have. Since you are in this reading, since you are here, there's these messages for you. You have built, done things, worked on yourself, did so much growth and healing that you are in a place right now where you have the luxury. I say luxury because some people are not really awake, right? Awake to those feelings, awake to those connections, but you are. You have the luxury of choosing your path, right? We all make our choices, right? We all have paths to choose from. You are in this space where you're like, I've done so much work where I know what I want. I know what it feels like to be happy. I know that this is not it. What am I going to do about it? Like, you're in a space where you're actually listening to yourself. You're respecting your feelings and you're trying to pivot away towards something bigger, right? Your highest timeline. There is a world, there is a life for yourself that you envision that you know is meant for you. That is meant for you, by the way. It is meant for you. And the reason why you feel this struggle, it's because the way your life is right now, it's not supporting you through that. But because you're in this energy of limbo, you're moving toward that. You're letting go. So you're in whatever you're doing right now, whoever you're letting go of, whatever situations you're letting go of, this is confirmation that you are correct. You don't have to doubt yourself. Let go. And it's going to bring you toward that state of flow, toward that state of harvest, where you can collect the things that you've been growing, because you've been growing a lot of different things, things take time. And sculpt. It's this idea of, again, expression. Let's talk about feelings, because feelings have come up multiple times in this reading. And so I feel like maybe some of you are having a little bit hard time conceptualizing your feelings, or maybe you do connect with your feelings and, you meditate, you connect, you think it through, but something's still not shifting. With sculpt, it's giving your feelings a body. How can you take your feelings and actually bring it to life? And what I mean by that is, how do you express your feelings? I've mentioned this before, so this is coming out again. It's in order to make feelings come alive, there are a few different ways, right? You can channel it through dancing, right? If you just put on some music and connect with your feelings and just move through and dance, you're literally giving an artistic expression to your feeling through dance. And that's making it come to life, and you're feeling it through your body, right? Or maybe you write poetry. Maybe you're stuck in your feelings about the situation, this opportunity, this person, whatever, that's not going in the direction you want. Maybe you like to write. You can journal or write a poem, but that would give the feelings life. It's not just stuck in head. It's not just stuck in an energetic space. It's actually bringing it to manifestation. It's bringing it into the real world, to life, right? Maybe you can talk about it. Maybe you can even just record yourself talking about it. You can write a letter. If you draw, if you paint, you can paint the expression of your feelings, right? And you don't have to think it through. You can just literally put a bunch of color pencils or markers or whatever on the ground, get a piece of paper, and just pick the color that you feel like is your feeling right now and color with it. And then if the color changes, color it again. You don't need to think about what I'm coloring. Just randomly start coloring because it's just bringing your feelings to life, right? And just giving it a body, giving it an expression would be very helpful. And then depending on your expression, if it is something tangible that you can hold, because dancing, it kind of goes away after the dancing. If it is something tangible you can hold, you can decide what to do with it after that. You can burn it, you can rip it, you could display it as art, or you could just keep it in a box, whatever intuitively feels good for you, right? But there is this message for some of you of, it's important for you to give your feelings a body, to bring it to life, because for some of you, you're keeping it stuck in your head or your body. And trapped emotions can make you feel very stagnant, right? Trapped trauma can stay in your body. I just want to take some guidance, some messages from your higher self about the connections meant to come into your life. Since I feel like connections weigh heavily on you. We have chemistry, true love, and self-love. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. So chemistry and true love came out first, and then like a third card just like literally flew across on top. And that's self-love. So yeah, the connections meant to come into your life. We have chemistry. So I read something recently. I forgot where I read it, but I wanted to share it because it's coming out with chemistry. So it's clearly meant to find you. There's a difference between chemistry and compatibility, and you want both in the type of connections that you're looking for. With chemistry, it's just the natural effect of two energies coming together. You can't change it. You can't control it, right? You can't form chemistry. You can't build chemistry, to be honest. Like, I feel like some people say that you can build chemistry. Not really. It's not that you can't grow respect and grow love and grow appreciation for each other. That's not what I'm saying. Chemistry, in terms of connection, in terms of energy, it's either there or it's not. And that's what I want to go by. It's like you have your own energy, right? Your soul is energy. Your soul encompasses everything about you. Your past, like other lives, and your current human life past, your emotions, your values, how you view life, like your interests, your desires, your energy has a certain color, right? These can be multiple colors, it doesn't matter. Certain flavor, certain color. Your energy is a certain energy, right? And then someone else comes along. When you meet someone, when you connect with someone else's energy, there's a natural effect, right? There's a natural reaction to the combination or interaction between your energies, right? You could be a red, they could be a blue, and then naturally purple forms. And it's a beautiful, reaction. It's a beautiful energy, right? In chemistry, it's just it's like this natural longing or natural pull towards someone else. And this could be any dynamic, right? It could be friends, family, partners, romantic partners. It doesn't matter. But there's just this natural pull of, I really connect with this person. I really enjoy them. And it's not even overthinking it. It's just, it's either there or it's not, right? And for those situations where it's not there and you try to figure out why, maybe you've had that situation where the chemistry wasn't there and you're like, yeah, but they're a nice person. We have the same values, blah, blah, blah. You get to know them and the chemistry still just isn't there. And you're like, I wonder why. You don't have to overthink it. The chemistry just isn't there. The chemistry is just that natural pull or desire based on your energies coming together. And it's not something we can control. For compatibility is about our lifestyle. It's about our values. How do we see the world? How do we view relationships? How do we feel about nutrition? How do we feel about medical health? Just anything, honestly. That's compatibility because, political views even. So compatibility is sharing those values, sharing those lifestyle desires. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be with someone that has different values and way of life. It would make it a little bit hard, and it does depend on which value and which perspective and which way of life you're talking about. But there is this idea of, is there a reason that you're forcing yourself to be with someone that's not compatible? For example, some people can come together with different like religious views, political views, whatever. And that's fine, right? As long as they can come to the same page and they're both respectful, of course, that works. There are certain perspectives, certain views on life that literally just couldn't, you literally can't connect with someone that doesn't feel that way. And you can take that however you mean for your life, right? For example, let's talk about food, because I feel like a lot of people, have strong opinions on food. So let's talk about this, because this example is coming through. So I want to share it because this could be taken to the extreme or not. So for example, let's talk about vegetarian or vegan. There are people in the world, right, that don't eat meat, and that could be for any reason, right? It could be religious reasons. It could just be a choice. Maybe they just don't want to eat red meat, whatever. There's so many different reasons. But the fact is they just don't eat they don't eat red meat. They don't eat meat, vegetarian, vegan, right? And then there's some animal products. So that's a lifestyle, right? That's not very small, right? That is a lifestyle. Like that's how they're going to be cooking at home. That's how when they go out to eat, that's what they're going to be eating. They are limited on the types of restaurants they can go to, right? They can't go seafood if they're not pescatarian, so no seafood. They can't go to steakhouses, right? So it's like that. So if someone is that way, and let's say they connect with someone that eats meat, right? Whatever you call that person. It's funny that the default diet is just normal. But so let's say they connect with someone that is not vegan or vegetarian. They eat meat products. And let's say, we're going to go to the extreme now. Let's say that person loves meat. They're like, I have meat for every meal. Like they must, they cannot not, right? They love steak. They love red meat. They love all that goodness. And for them, they love going to restaurants. They love experiencing that type of food. They want to eat the different types all over. So when they connect, when they meet, maybe they have an insane amount of chemistry. Like they're just drawn to each other. They're connected to each other. It feels so good. For compatibility wise, let's say that is a huge dividing factor between them, because for the person that's vegan or vegetarian, let's say they don't want to have meat in their home for whatever reason, right? That's fair. That's valid. Let's say they can't have meat in their home and they're not going to go to these restaurants to eat meat, obviously. So that directly impacts the meat person, right? They both do. The meat person's like, well, I need to have meat in the home. Can you cook meat? Well, maybe I'll cook the meat. Can it be in the fridge, right? Maybe I'll just cook it. And then the other person's like, oh, I want to try all these restaurants, but you can't go with me. This kind of sucks. So if they're each other's primary partners, like let's just say a love interest, for example, maybe friends, it could be a little better, but well, whatever. But let's say they're each other primary partners and it causes a lot of friction, right? It doesn't have to, but let's just say for the extremes, for this example, it does. Because if we go to the extremes of one person not wanting meat around them for whatever reason, right? That was their choice. And the other person wanting meat all the time, that's very extreme. So those two aren't very compatible, right? It's just they're both going to have to sacrifice something or not feel good just because they're feeling chemistry. There are plenty of other people that will match with both of them, right? There could be, for the vegetarian and vegan, there could be someone that eats meat, but maybe they don't eat it all the time. Maybe they're like, yeah, I want it like once a day. I can have vegetarian meals. Just, I want some meat sometime, and they can cook it sometimes, right? Or maybe they're not a big restaurant eater, so it doesn't matter to them what restaurant they go to. Maybe they just like cooking at home. Or they go to restaurants that have vegan, vegetarian options. They don't need meat all the time. That person would be more compatible with the first person, right? For the meat eater, they could find whoever, someone that likes eating meat, or maybe someone that is a little less strict with their food, right? Maybe they're vegan, vegetarian more at home, but maybe when they go out, they're fine having meat once in a while, right? Maybe that would be more compatible with them. But that's what I'm saying. There's so many different extremes. People are different, people are in different places of their life. And I think some people try to force themselves to be with someone because they feel chemistry. Some things aren't compatible, but they're like, I can change that. No, you can't really, right? And that's just an example, right? I was just giving that example, but there's anything in between, right? The extremes, everything in between, but you don't need to force yourself. So what you're coming into is you're going to feel chemistry. I feel like some of you, maybe you've felt more compatibility wise. You've been going by compatibility. You align really well on your values, how you want to live life, all this stuff, but you're not feeling that chemistry. And you're like, well, I don't really need to feel it as long as we're compatible. No, the types of connections you're coming into based on these cards, you're going to feel an insane amount of chemistry. And we have true love here. We have true love with a heart that has music coming out. Oh, I love that. It's like, you guys, like, you have your own like melody to life, right? You have your own theme song, right? You live your own way, right? The tune of your soul. I like to say that, right? Your intuition. You live your own way. When you come together with this person, it's like you guys harmonize so beautifully, right? You have your own different melodies, but when you come together, when you feature on each other's tracks, when you come together, it's just beautiful collaboration. It's just beautiful harmony. It's going to feel so in sync. Like you're coming into like true high level soulmate vibes because we also have the self-love card. And so the connections that you're meant for that are coming into your life, you're going to feel insane chemistry, insane compatibility. You're going to feel so harmonized that they sync so well. And these connections, these relationships support you into loving yourself more, right? We're going to love ourselves first, right? Fill our own cups. We should be in that type of space. But these connections are just going to support you through that. They're going to embrace you for your authentic self. They're going to support you, celebrate you, and love you for who you are. And so, of course, you're already going to feel so much self-love for yourself. But these connections are only going to help support that with you. And that's really beautiful. All right. We'll just take this one last card from my Herbiary Oracle deck. If you've been listening, you know I've been connecting with this deck recently. It's newer. I'll read from the guidebook. And we will just take a message from your higher self, universe. Oh, we got two. So I'm just going to read both of them. We have Forbidden Fruit Apple and Create Space Raspberry. Let's do the Forbidden Fruit. So, Apple has been given grief since in the beginning, when she learned that feeding people and teaching them to know themselves can be a dangerous thing. She became associated with snakes, shame, and fig leaves, and it's been all dance lessons, courtesies, and domestication from there. Apple is the witch of the wildwood, forced to clean up and come in for tea. But a skirt and pumps can't hide her knowledge of the circling stars and cycling seasons, the deep loam of the earth and the warm weep of a summer rain. We may think that we've tamed Wild Apple and brought her to heel, but even quasi-domesticated, she still gifts us with the sweetness of understanding ourselves. Apple asks, "What have you forbidden yourself?" And we have under reflection hidden desires. We try to tame things that scare us. Self-knowledge is no different. We hide our deep wisdom, our intuition, our needs and desires under a layer of enculturation, refusing to acknowledge what we consider inappropriate or grandiose. These hidden knowledges and longings are snakes in the garden. Do you stifle your body when it wants to move in certain ways? Do you choke back your voice when it wants to chant or sing? Do you eat what you're supposed to instead of what your body craves? Do you listen to the quiet voice of your intuition? Yes, that sums up beautifully what I was saying about you're coming into this state, you're in this limbo, right? You're coming into the state of flow, of listening to your intuition, of getting up every day and just following what feels good, right? Following the tune of your soul, following your intuition, just pivoting slightly toward your yes in every moment. And it's this idea of not being afraid to connect with your feelings, right? Like I said, getting really honest about how you're feeling about certain situations, people, or things, or your life. Facing that honest desire and feelings, and then asking yourself, what am I going to do about it? Because this is not it, right? Yeah, that beautifully sums up everything. Let's look at create space. Raspberry. Raspberry is Rose's younger sister, sweet and wild, but also steady-handed. She loves the earth and its smallest creatures. So what's ebullient? Ebullient? Ebullient. Let me know what that is. Ebullient branches twist and crawl, creating nests for birds and sanctuaries for snails. She'll rock wee babes and scurry about with toddlers, rarely giving in to the gravitas that permeates most members of her family. Laughter floats through her leaves as she flexes and twists. You too can be like this, she says, demonstrating pliability earned by drinking deeply of mineral-rich soil. Sit with her and she'll share with you the secret of weaving space and creating strong containers for the emptiness that new life needs in order to thrive. When Raspberry appears, look to how you are or aren't nurturing space within. Reflection, hold space within. We often don't make space for ourselves in our daily lives or create a structure that lets us grow and fully express our dreams. Before creating in the world, Raspberry teaches us we must learn to hold space within. Is there room for you in your mind and heart, or are your thoughts filled with the needs and schedules of others? Do you have guilt or other toxic thoughts popping up when you contemplate claiming space, mental, physical, or emotional, for yourself? Are you fearful of taking up too much space, intellectually or physically? Yes, that's also a beautiful reminder. As you're in this state of limbo, connecting with yourself, shifting toward this new space, this new timeline in your life, honestly, it feels like you're shifting towards a higher timeline, your highest timeline. Not feeling guilty for withdrawing your energy, right? Not feeling guilty for taking space right now. Like, this is, as I said, this is an important time for you to be in your own energy and really connect with yourself, connect with your feelings, get very clear on the energies that you want in your life, the type of connections, because as you grow out of this space, as you shift toward the life you envision yourself, as you keep making connections and spending your time with people, to not feel guilty for taking time for yourself, quiet time. It's okay if you don't want to hang out or talk or interact with others for a little bit. If you just want to enjoy your space, whether that's for mental, emotional, physical health, or well-being, it's just, a no is no. And healthy people in your life, open people, respecting people will always respect your no, right? And especially right now, as you are in this state of limbo and you do have a path now to take of, you can go back to how you're feeling, right? Which I don't feel like it's possible for you. You're already on this path of growth. There's this new path opening up of your highest timeline, bringing in these connections, these soulmate connections, loving yourself more. And to do that, you have to create space for yourself. You have to be able to connect with yourself, slow down, so that you can really stand firm in what you want, what you believe, and how you show up, because that's what you demand from other people, right? And not demand in a bad way, but once you're very sure and secure with who you are and what you want, nobody can shake that, right? You'll be able to pivot so fast from the energies, people, and situations that don't serve that it's not going to be a sad or a burden anymore. It's just you finding your way and finding your way toward your soul family, your soul tribe. All right. Well, thank you so much for connecting with me. Those are all the messages that I have for you. If you resonated with the messages, please continue subscribing, like, or comment below so I can continue connecting with your energy for these collective readings. And I'm wishing you guys all the best. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm sending you warm wishes and soothing hugs.